Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. Thanks for watching. So on the table you see the Canik Elite and the Canik TP9 SFx. Today both guns actually worked very well. I had zero issues, and I'll kind of go through each gun separately so you can hear what I have to say about both. I will tell you this isn't going to be a short video. You can of course obviously fast forward through it to the parts you want to hear, but I do want to kind of go through this in depth and make sure everybody's kind of on board with what I found and then eventually make your own decisions. Now, one of the things that I had been hearing on the internet through certain other channels who were reviewing these guns, I kept hearing this idea that there was nothing wrong with the ejection pattern, that it's not a big deal, whatever. That was never the major problem with this gun for me. It was something else, which was a spring, or for the slide lock spring. And again, you guys can watch that video. I'm not going to rehash that. But one of the things that I wanted to make clear was that this is the ammunition that I shot with today. This ammunition, was actually provided to me by Century Arms as a part of the consolation prize of getting this as well. However, I do want to say that as you can see on the box, it's basically 115 grain full metal jacket brass cased ammunition. Now, there's nothing incredible about this. This is not NATO spec branded ammo. This is just basic bare bones brass 115 grain shooting ammo, or basically practice ammo. I've used Blazer Brass, Federal, so those are quality ammos that I like using. This, on the other hand, is just what they provided, but I will tell you that, guess what? There were no issues with this ammunition. Now, of course, if you want to say, oh, that's because this is quality ammo, I'll leave that to you to decide. However, I will tell you, I think what it is more indicative is that the problem on this gun was not ammunition, was not imagination, but it was actually the recoil spring, which was replaced in this particular firearm. To talk about the ejection pattern, the way the casings were ejecting, they were not going completely perpendicular with the gun this way. Instead, what they were doing, they were angling out at a probably around I'd say a 45-degree angle. None of them went just lobbing over my wrist. None of them hit my arm. I did not catch one down my shirt or in my face. I did not eat any brass for lunch this morning or brunch. Instead, they actually did what they should have done in the first place, and that was that they were clearing the slide with no problem. So in my opinion, what appears to be kind of full of baloney garbage about ammunition is actually about a recoil spring that they can easily change out. So again, that's just what I found. I can't speak for anybody else, only for myself. Now, in regards to what I saw with the gun, again, everything that I said initially with the first 600 rounds I put through this is going to ring true. Very good shooting gun, very accurate. The only issue I kept having was I kept riding the slide lock up here. So a lot of times when I was out of rounds, instead of the slide locking back, it wouldn't lock back. But that had nothing to do with the firearm or the actual spring inside. That was because of Mr. Thumb here was just holding it down too much. So I'd have to adjust my grip a little bit better, maybe kind of cover it up with my left hand and or maybe kind of hold it a little bit outside so that my thumb isn't pressing up against it. Other than that, there was zero malfunctions with this firearm today. None. The ejection pattern was good. The gun was extremely accurate in my opinion. And again, that's only me. I've always said to everyone who's watched my videos, I don't pretend to be a marksman. This is just what I can shoot, good and bad. So I don't know how much I can fit on this camera, so I'll do my best. But these are some more of those immobilized targets, but I got smaller ones. So you can see over here to the left, if you can read that, it talks about how many feet out and what it's actually the equivalent size to. So I was actually shooting this roughly about 10 feet out, so you can see it's equivalent to 20 feet. In my opinion, that's pretty decent shooting in regards to kind of a self-defense distance. So the way I look at it is, at 10 feet, which is relatively the same as 20 feet on the target like this, we are talking, about a little over 6.5 yards. Again, these were my first few shots. And you can see it's kind of a little bit erratic towards the beginning, and then I'm able to kind of center it here. On the belly shots, you can see I was able to be, that's pretty bright. I was able to kind of just blow a hole right through this, the abdomen here. So again, no issues. I had one little flyer here because I was trying to aim for that. No idea what happened. One of the things I did notice with the Elite, and it might be a sight issue, is I kept pulling everything to the left. It could be the sight or just the pad on my finger needs to be a little bit less. That could have been the issue. But again, I was shooting and pulling a little bit to the left. Again, as I began to, I'm trying to get all this stuff out here for you. Again, this was kind of just trying to focus more on headshots. So you can see I hit about 3 there, and then there's the 4th one here. This one I actually pushed out to 15 feet. So, you know, again, is it great? I don't think it's great shooting, but I'm okay with it. Like I said, I mean, if I can hit 15 feet out and go 30 feet looking at this image, I'm pretty cool with that. I don't know what the problem is with a lot of people criticizing that. Again, you can see here, able to punch a hole right through this entire piece of paper, so I feel pretty good with that. And, you know, a couple of shots to kind of the rib cage area. But other than that, in my opinion, very good. Now, these again, I was shooting, this one I shot again at around 15 yards. And you can see I pulled a couple, man. I don't know what the deal is with me shooting left today. But you can see these two are on the left. I mean, they're grouped nicely, but in my opinion, a little bit too low. However, again, if this was a sternum, you're still hitting the sternum area of a person. Outside, I've got a couple out here, and I apologize for such a crappy look at this. But you can see right here, some shots on the outside. And then again, I was able to zero in right into the middle. So, you know, overall, in my opinion, I would consider this a pretty darn accurate firearm. I know a lot of people may disagree with that, but I think for what you're getting for a self-defense gun, this thing is pretty darn accurate. Again, this was roughly around, geez, I'm trying to think what this one was at. I think this was about 12 yards. No, that's a little bit too far. I think it was more like 10 yards, I think, on this next target. But this was about 10 yards, and you can see everything's kind of closing in. Again, still pulling them low and to the left. I don't know what that's about. And then I'm able to kind of bring it back in, and again, you can see sort of, if you can see that, it's able to group pretty tight. So that's my fist. That's my fist. So I feel pretty good. You know, overall, you know, do I want to give this a complete pass just yet? No, I don't think I can, only because, you know, 320 rounds later, this gun now has about a little over 900 rounds through it. But I will tell you, it's really accurate. The trigger's great on this gun. Not a lot of muzzle flip at all. And, you know, for those of you who are concerned about this hitting your back knuckle, your thumb knuckle here, which was one of my concerns initially, I actually went back to the regular back strap it came with, and I felt like that improved the way this handles by your thumb. So if you use the bigger back strap, what's going to happen is your thumb's going to come out a little bit further, so you'll probably take a little bit more of the brunt of this because it is kind of a chunky little area back here. But you know, other than that, I mean, I feel pretty good that this gun is going to be a keepable gun for me. Again, you know, 920 rounds plus or minus 5 or 10. I think right now this is going to be a keeper. I'm going to put it through its paces again, make sure that I can feel 100% comfortable with it. But as I said, you know, for me right now, this was a huge step in the right direction. Whatever problems they were facing with this gun, I think they fixed it once they put that new recoil spring in. So again, I will say, I don't want to hear about inconsistent ammunition because this is low-grade ammo and it worked perfectly out of a gun with a new recoil spring. So I think you may have been able to solve that just with that additional spring put in there. Now, in regards to the SFx, I will tell you, this gun is, wow. I mean, that's all I can say, just wow. I know a lot of people are kind of curious about it. I will tell you that it does feel really nice in the hand as you shoot it. One of the things I was having issues with was just trying to figure out where I wanted to grip it because the slide is so long and you have a lot of extra room to play. I actually wanted to bring my left hand even further out. It just didn't feel good the way it was doing it because you can see I have a lot of space in there, so I kept having to rock it a little bit further back. But once I got it established where I wanted to be, this gun is friggin' accurate, my God. And whether or not that's because of the longer barrel, whether or not it's because of this trigger, I will tell you, to me, this trigger feels better than the trigger inside the Elite. I will tell you that in my opinion with this one, it's definitely lighter than the Elite, and it's a little bit crisper on the reset. But I will tell you, this is by far the closest PPQ trigger I've ever shot in my life. And I have over 1,000 rounds through one of my PPQs. The trigger's fully broken in, and I have to tell you, this trigger is pretty darn close to everything that PPQ is. Does this make it a PPQ? No. But at the same time, you know, take it from a Walther fanboy that this trigger is pretty damn close. Now, in regards to, you know, what was good about the gun, I mean, pretty much everything. The sight picture was really nice. I do like how the post is in the sight. I feel like there's a lot of space in between. Now, some people may not like that, but from the post in the front to the rear sight, there is a lot of play in the middle, but I just felt that for me, it worked with my eyes really well. The only thing I don't like is the size of the actual fiber optic. I wish the fiber optic was a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can focus in on that. I feel like it's just a little too small. But again, that could be me. I've never really shot a competition type gun. So that just might be an issue of me not being familiar with that kind of stuff. But at the same time, everything was great. I got a lot of inquiries to the type of gun this was. As soon as people saw it, everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's RoboCop!" But I had to explain to them what it was and why I got it. And again, I was there to shoot, not really to talk. But you know, if somebody has a question, I have no problem answering it. But I think a lot of people really looked at this gun saying, "Wow, that's a pretty interesting shooting firearm." Absolutely no recoil. You know, it just shot really, really well. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you. This was like literally going to be, in my opinion, pretty damn good shooting. Now, you'll notice I have two flyers. This was roughly, and I'm going to kind of go on a branch or on a limb at this point and say this was about a little past 75 feet. This was a little slightly past the 25-yard mark that they had shooting range. I just wanted to see what I could do and see if I suck that bad or if the gun is just way too good. And unfortunately, I'll probably say that I sucked so bad, but that the gun just actually kicked my rear end with accuracy. You can see I have one flyer here. This was the first shot, second shot, because again, you know, I'm shooting low. I got to make sure I kind of put the muzzle up a little bit more. And then, of course, I jerked my finger, which then jerked the trigger, which, of course, pulled left. And then out of nowhere, it was just one shot after the other, after the other. And then when I brought it back, I had just a big-ass smile on my face because there's no way I'm that good of a shot. But I will tell you that this trigger really, really helps. It's very light. The reset, that's the word I'm looking for. The reset on it, extremely awesome. I mean, it's just so tactile. And as soon as you feel it, you can just ease it in and it just goes bang every time. So the trigger was absolutely 100% beautiful on this gun. Again, I was also doing some drilling about 20 yards. And again, you can see that I have a couple of lows here. And then all of a sudden just able to open it up right in the middle. So I mean, everything's within, you know, all these shots are within a fist depending on how you put your fist. So again, I'm happy with it. You know, if you guys shoot better than that, good, man. I'm happy for you. I really am. But for me, I'm pretty excited about it. This again, around 15 yards. I don't know, you know, I just felt like everything I was hitting today was to the left. I don't know why, but you can see the two low, one high, and then the rest within an area that I think is pretty acceptable for most normal or average shooters. So I'm very happy with this, guys. I think the shooting was really good today. This one was a target that I decided to put up because I just thought for fun, why the hell not? So I pushed this out to 25 yards to see what I could do. And, you know, it was kind of interesting. So you can see over here I have one low. I hit him in almost near the junk, which was kind of funny. At least I thought so. But again, pulling everything to the left. One here, two to the left here, and then I'm able to center some more and get very close to the face. So I guess that's okay, but one flyer there. So this wasn't such a great amount of shooting in regards to what I was doing prior, but you know, still hit the target, I guess. This one I have to say I'm pretty happy with because this one I pushed out to about 25 feet. And this target, because it's smaller, is equivalent to 50 feet. So I pushed it out to 25 feet, and you can see I'm hitting right in that T-zone there. A couple of strays there, two in the neck, one in known man's land, more skin than anything else. A couple on the rib cage side near this collarbone, and then of course opening it up here and in this region as well as the lower region right here. So I mean, overall, it was a good day of shooting. You know, it was a lot of shooting, and you know, at one point I just said, man, I'm getting a little tired. My thumbs, especially from reloading, since I can only use 10 rounds in these magazines. But overall, the SFx extremely accurate. I'm sure there's a million better shooters out there than I am. And if you're that good of a shot, I'm telling you, this gun will be awesome. I can see this being a very, very big asset to competitive shooters. Especially, you know, any kind of maybe steel challenge, these types of things where you're just knocking them really close. It would be interesting to run this through a competition like that. I may actually have to start looking into things like that around my area if we actually have them here. Now, I will tell you, overall, I was very happy with what I found for both of these firearms. I feel a sense of relief, especially with what everything happened with this one right here. I mean, the Elite, in my opinion, was a good gun when I first got it, with the slight issues that it had. I'm very happy that Century Arms fixed what I think was the problem and what they think was the problem, obviously, which was the recoil spring. Does it give it a complete pass? Not yet. However, would I say that it's on the right track? 100% yes. So again, if you're looking for these firearms, you know what? Ultimately, it's going to be your decision to make whether or not you purchase them. In my opinion, I'm extremely happy with both right now. So I hope this helps any of you decide. I was considering doing a live stream a little bit later to see if anybody had any additional questions. So if you think I should, just let me know. If you have any questions or anything else you'd like to hear, definitely let me know as well. So I hope you guys have a great day. If you're living up here in the Northeast, you're about to get slammed by a nor'easter. We're going to get about 2 feet of snow. Awesome. This place sucks. But anyway, as always, everyone, freedom is never free.